Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cordelia, and today I have a special guest. This is my cousin Van. Van, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hey, so I'm Van. I feel like a lot of people don't know we're related, um, especially like from the small town that we live in. But I'm also trans. I came out last year in August, so at this point I'm almost a year on testosterone. Um, that'll be on August 23rd, and I had top surgery last year in June, so I'm a little over post-op. Over a year there. But today we're gonna do an update and talk about some things like from a different perspectives, like one from being like a trans dude and then one from being like a trans girl. And we're just want to be informative, and we're on the same family, and it's cool. So
Yeah, we don't necessarily have like a formal topic or format for today, but one of the things we wanted to talk about was perception and how people perceive us now as to before. So, for me, it's been, how people treated me when I was a boy to now. One of the things we had talked about before was like greetings or like when people say bye to us. Before I got like just like a wave basically, or maybe like a handshake or a weird like high five thing. And now it's much more like hugs and things like that. And it took a little bit to get used to that because I was not a like hugging type person, but I actually like really like it now.
yeah, yeah. I feel like so like mine kind of goes like the opposite. So like as I started to pass more, or I guess be like read as male, the hugs became like less and less. Not from like women per se, or like women that I knew, but like from guys that I know, or like guys who don't know me. So it's been interesting to be like, when if I'm meeting like a friend's boyfriend or husband, or meeting a guy like I don't know, it's like now very much like a handshake or some sort of like semi hug. I don't know. It's funny to be honest, like and interesting. So that's kind of what I could see, like how I'm read from other men, and especially men like who don't know me. So it's been interesting to like have that experience and like watch that change from like the opposite. Like you go probably from like getting more hugs, right?
Oh yeah.
To like I now go from like, hey, what's up, man, and like that's it, because that's kind of how it works. So like navigating that is interesting because like not all men do that. Like some men hug, so like when I'm like meeting someone I don't know, I'm like, do I put my hand out? Are we gonna do a half hug? I don't know. I mean, so it's just been funny, and like sometimes there'll be like these awkward exchanges of like, here, nice to meet you. Here's a half hug handshake thing.
Even like handshakes for me now are weird because some people do just offer a hand instead of a hug. And so before, the handshake for me was like, oh, it has to be like a firm handshake, like straight up, whatever. And now I like purposely try and be more delicate when I shake hands. So I'll like, very gently like grab their hand. And,
Yeah.
like even sometimes
Right, because that's what they're expecting.
yeah, or even do something like more passive, which is like turn my hand kind of downward instead of on top, which is like a more dominant position. And it's definitely all in my head of me trying to like, oh, if we're doing a handshake, then I want it to be
Right.
like more of a feminine handshake
Yeah.
than more of the firm like grip that I used to do.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Totally. I'm like, oh, make sure I do this right. Like, I'm gonna shake someone's hand like as firm as I can. Yeah. No. Totally. It definitely feels like that. And then it's just like, I don't know, just navigating that and like societal norms and like greetings between men and like greetings between with women and like what's acceptable and like between the level that you know somebody, like are they an acquaintance, like are they a good friend, like what is it gonna be? So it's kind of like a lot. You have to think on your feet, I would think, a lot
Yeah.
to like make a good first impression, and then like it kind of then kind of turns to like standing out. Like, so do I out myself right now? Do like half these people know that I'm trans? Like half these people don't know? What do I do? And then like you're just kind of constantly like juggling all these factors of things to like
Yeah.
have a good time socially. It's just interesting, you know? It's not bad or good per se, but
It's something I never would have thought about before.
yeah.
And now it's something that I actually put thought into. Where before, like a greeting, I would just be like, "Hey, what's up?" And like that's the end of it.
Right.
And now it's like, "Oh God, like what are we doing? Like what should I be doing?
Yeah.
Like how I don't know how to act." And then
Yeah.
I just want to act naturally, which again for me is now like more of a warm greeting with like, again, if we're like really good friends, a hug. And then if we're not and we're doing a handshake, then being more feminine. And then also, I've noticed too with my voice, I tend to talk more feminine around certain people. And then I
Right.
think
Yeah.
other people that I'm more comfortable with, I kind of relax my voice more to, I guess, whatever it is naturally now. But yeah, definitely in certain situations, I think I purposely try to sound more feminine.
Definitely. Yeah. There are like times where you feel like you need to like overcompensate sometimes just to like, I don't know, not draw attention or like, I don't know, be like, I don't know, like accepted or just like
Yeah,
welcomed or something maybe.
yeah, because a lot of times, like, you don't want to draw attention to yourself. So then you think if I act this certain way, then maybe people won't question it as to like, oh, like I get it, like they're trans and they're like,
Right.
yeah. So I just sometimes just want to kind of try and fit in and not have to
Make it
go
all
through-
about the identity
yeah.
part of it. Yeah. Identity politics can be a thing.
That's it. And so then another thing we had talked about was standing out. And what I've run into sometimes is like people I don't know that I see at like they work at like a grocery store or even the gym or something like that. Will be like, oh yeah, I saw you, you know, going into the gym the other day or going into the grocery store the other
Right.
day.
You're
And
like,
it's like,
what?
okay, like cool. Say hi next time. Like I don't
Yeah.
know really how to respond to that. Like.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, thanks for noticing me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's harder to be, as you're saying before, like stealth. You know, like you don't know who knows about your identity, or you know, like what has already been said, maybe, or like if they're friends with you on Facebook or any sort of social media. Like like I call these people like shadow followers to some degree because like they may be like kind of up to date on like what you're doing, but like you don't know them, and so like I moved like recently to Boston Spa as an example, and I had to switch my pharmacy. So I was going to the Hannaford in Boston Spa, and I don't know anyone there per se, so this isn't really about like social media, but I had to like I went to try and pick up my prescription, and like I had to go back and get it, and when I came back, like the girl like already knew my name. She was like, "Yeah, you're Van, right? Okay," and I'm like, one, I've never been in this Hannaford. Two, why do you remember me? I mean, I'm sure there's like hundreds of people who use this pharmacy. Like, it's a pretty popular area. I don't know. It's stuff like that that's weird. Like, of people who like you become a memorable person because of how you
Yeah.
look and because of your identity, and then you're like, oh god, so these people are like tend to remember me more than like they ever would, and that can be like I don't know, scary or like
Yeah.
maybe cool.
It makes me then think like how many other people are like noticing me and then
Right.
just not saying anything. Like how much do I stand out? And
Yes.
again, I don't always want to stand out. A lot of times I just want to blend in. So if anyone wonders why I keep looking down or doing something with my arm, my cat is on my lap. Gizmo, I don't know if you remember him, but so yeah, that's why that's happening. We wanted to keep the video somewhat kind of shorter. So we did have another topic, and that was the gym and going to the gym.
Yep.
We both go to the gym. I had stopped going when I started my transition. And so for about 2 years, I had stopped going, and that's when I was on the testosterone blocker. I lost 20 pounds. I was feeling very like weak. So then I joined the gym again to try and just regain strength, and it was a very different experience. Now, did you continue going throughout, or you had to stop for a little bit?
So like I was going to the gym before transition, lost some weight, was feeling really good about myself, and then I had top surgery and had to stop at least for 6 to 8 weeks. That really kind of like impeded my progress, and then I started taking hormones, which is testosterone. So like I kind of gained some weight because I was working out less. I definitely was hungrier, and then like my body weight and muscles were shifting. So like for me, once I got back into it, like I had a different perception about my body, and I was like, oh, I kind of like myself. Like I don't really give a shit if I have a six pack or like my fitness goals. Like they changed. It was more like I do this because I feel good, as opposed to like I really had this certain image in my mind of how I wanted to look, and like before kind of coming out and like putting that out there and putting words to that, I really was like, maybe if I just look a certain way, I won't feel like this. So, but once I got back into the gym and I was on T and they had warned me about this, it was like, you're gonna feel like you can lift a truck. And I was like, okay, whatever. And like that is kind of true. Like I do CrossFit, so I do like a lot of weight training and some cardio, and I've been doing that for almost 2 years now. And after taking testosterone for like 6 months and being in the gym regularly, I will have like a personal record or like a PR of like 25 to 30 pounds sometimes. And that's kind of crazy. Like they don't really want you doing that. So I'm like, I don't know. And then like also kind of going back to the perceptions, it was like, I think people maybe don't know that I'm trans. Like if I'm doing like what's called like a partner workout and I'm just like working out with someone else, it tends to be a male. Like they sometimes are like, well, what weight are you going to do? And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'm only going to do this many pounds. And like they're usually doing a lot heavier than I am. And it's kind of like, sometimes I don't know, I wouldn't say I get judged for that. I don't want to say that. But I think sometimes you're like, oh, that seems light, And I'm like, actually, I'm not as strong as I am. So you think. So that tends to be interesting. But I've had gains a lot quicker as I feel like you've maybe had to rebuild some of that.
Yeah, like when I first started going back, I just wanted strength again because like a jug of water was like heavy to me, like a gallon jug of water, and I was like, this is not how it used to be. And so I know before transitioning, I could do like maybe like 10 to 12 pull-ups in like one shot. And then when I first started going back, it was like I could do like one or two, and then I was done. Just no more upper body strength whatsoever. And now that I've been going since probably February, March, pretty regularly, I'm back up to doing maybe like 6 or 7 pull-ups.
That's pretty good.
And again, like my body has changed from gaining the muscle. I've gained somewhere between 5 and 10 pounds of muscle, and you can really see it in my arms. And at first I was very like subconscious about like, oh God, am I looking too masculine now because my arms are bigger? And I think it was kind of quick that I got over that of like, I don't really care. Like I like going to the gym. I like working out. I did before. And I had to kind of figure out that like, that was something I actually like. I wasn't just doing it because like, oh, I'm a guy and I have to go to the gym and I have to have muscle and I have to look a certain way. I was actually going to the gym because like, I actually like the gym.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going again and I love it. And the results are, I have muscle on my arms again or on my thighs and my legs, wherever. And I'm just happy with it. I don't really care now what other people think.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. I always like tell people, which is like my own joke, that I'm like on the juice. Because like technically I am. I don't know, people take, testosterone is a performance enhancing drug. So it makes sense why I would like have these gains, as you would call them, in the gym. But it's for me, it's been like, oh, this is great. Like I could never do like regular push-ups before. Like probably always do like what they call the girl push-ups or like something from my knees. And now I could probably crank out like 10 to 15 regular push-ups. And like I wouldn't be able to do that without being on hormones probably. But like to me, that's like super exciting because the more I build my chest and like my arms, impacts like my body weight fluctuating. So my hips get narrower and my body fat redistributes itself. Like I get broader shoulders, and like to me that just allows my clothes to fit better. And also it just, as I feel stronger, like I feel better about myself. And then it's not so much about like how I thought, like having this image in my head of how I should look. It's just like, well, whatever is going to happen at the gym or like whatever I do is going to happen, and like this feels good, and like I feel happy, like I understand my capabilities, and it's just been like a good experience,
Yeah, I definitely wear different clothes than I did before, so very much tight and form-fitting, and I don't think I had noticed it as much before transitioning as to now, but like working out and doing a lot of squats and lunges and things like that, my butt's gotten bigger, and like so, I've had people like tell me like, oh, like you have a cute butt, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Are people looking at my butt now? But
Right?
again. Like, I don't really care. You know, I'm happy going to the gym and whatever results there are, like I'm cool with it.
Yeah, same. That's kind of how I feel. I also didn't have an ass before. So thank God I learned how to squat because I had like the flattest ass you could ever imagine.
So I think that's going to be it for us. We've gone for a while now, and like I said, I didn't want to make this too long, but
We're
thank
chatting.
you, Van, for being
This
on
was
the
fun.
show, and I think we should definitely do it again because
We should.
you have a very different perspective in things than I do. So again, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks guys. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Later.